Hey gang, AV here. Welcome to my review of the G.I. Joe Retro Collection Roadblock, the Walmart exclusive. Here he is on the card. As you can see, he is a blister carded figure. There is original artwork from the actual original figure back in the 80s. You can see that the figure inside is slightly different. For example, there's additional facial hair. He's wearing a flak vest. And the pants aren't quite the same. You know, he suffers from the same drawbacks that the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow did in the first wave of this line, where he doesn't quite look like the figure depicted on the box. But anyway, we're gonna have a closer look at him, and when I get him out of the packaging, here is the back of the card, where he has a file card, which I'll go over in a minute. The cross-sell for all the figures available so far in the retro collection. And a whole lot of legal stuff and other words at the bottom. So not much else to talk about as far as the packaging goes. Let us have a look at the figure himself. But first, we're going to have a look at his file card, which is right here. And normally I would ask you to pause the video and read it yourself, but I'll read it for you. Roadblock, Hilton Marvin F. Role, Heavy Machine Gunner. Primary specialty, Infantry Heavy Weapons. Secondary specialty, Cook. Birthplace, Biloxi, Mississippi. Joined the Army to train to be a chef, but found the preparation techniques too appalling. That's it for the file card. As huge as this thing is, all the words that are on here, these are all different languages. The top section is the only top part in English. Here is an original file card just to give you a comparison. It's larger with less information on it, and that's well, way to go, Hasbro. Well, so anyway, have a look at the figure himself, starting with his figure stand, since he won't stay on it. Here it is. It's G.I. Joe, 2-foot pegs, Roadblock there in the front, copyright 2007 Hasbro on the back. He will stay on it. He's just new out of the packaging, and his peg holes haven't been stretched out properly yet. But anyhow, let's have a look at his weapons. Here is his Ma Deuce, which comes in separate pieces out of the box. So here's the handles at the back, his removable ammo belt, the front muzzle with the top handle, and of course the gun itself. I will say that as cool as it is that it does disassemble like that, it doesn't want to stay assembled very well. I mean, it does fall apart pretty easy. The friction that keeps the parts on the piece isn't very good on my particular example. Hopefully yours is different, but like the friction is not that good. Maybe a little glue would go a long way. I don't know, but anyhow, here's his other gun. This is pretty cool too. It has a working bipod in the front and a removable magazine here, or clip, magazine or clip. I always get them confused. But anyway, pretty cool. I will say this though, the other gun, it does have the peg hole here, or the peg, I'm sorry, for the tripod, but there is no tripod included. So bear that in mind. Here is the figure himself. We're gonna have a look at some of his details. I apologize if it's a little dark. Let me move the light around. A very cool looking figure, I will give him that. He is of a larger scale, as we'll go over when I do the size comparison. He is based off of the Big Lob figure mold from the Collectors Club, and I believe the Roadblock earlier versions of the Roadblock from the Retaliation line. That being said, his articulation does suffer from that, and we'll go over that in a second. I do want to point out this vest is removable. I'll do that now, actually. You pop his head off, remove the vest by unpegging it here, slide it up over his neck, and you can see he's got his camo tank top on, which is a nice touch. I was actually very happy to see that. I don't know if I would have noticed that if I didn't actually see some of the camo pattern peeking out from underneath the straps of his vest. But it's pretty cool. I am glad that they did that. If you don't like the vest look, you could always probably get a set of web gear from Marauders Task Force, slap that on top of the tank top for a more traditional looking Roadblock, which is very nice. So anyway, let's do his articulation now. So his head is on a ball joint, as you saw. We'll do a full 360. It's not hindered by the vest at all. He does get some looking up and down, a little side to side as well, so you can get some expression out of him. Arms, full 360 there at the shoulder. They can go up very high, which is nice. There's nothing at the bicep. His elbows will flatten out, bend 90 degrees, and rotate 360. His rotation at the wrist here is at the top of the glove, and that's it. No hinge or anything. He does have a diaphragm joint, which is not hindered by the vest at all. You can get a good range of motion out of there. His legs go up about that high, back about that far. You can do the splits about like that. He's got a single jointed knee, and that's it. No ankle articulation at all, no double joint. That's it. So definitely missing out in the articulation aspect of this figure, and that's unfortunate. He looks decent. His weapons are pretty cool, but his articulation is somewhat lacking. Here he is next to a vintage G.I. Joe figure. Clearly towers over him. And here he is next to a modern era G.I. Joe figure. And you can see he towers over him as well. I mean, this is a larger scale, 1/18th scale figure. Here he is next to a vintage Star Wars figure, vintage collection Star Wars figure. Clearly towers over him. Here he is next to Boss Fight Studio Blank, which is about 4 inches tall, so you can see he's taller than him as well. And then you've got Marvel Universe Captain America figure, who is pretty close in scale to him, actually. So, all in all, he's an all-right figure. He's not the best version of Roadblock, I think, out there, but he does look pretty cool. He is going to look good on your shelf. The lack of articulation in his legs kind of sucks. The lack of a tripod for his main gun also kind of stinks, and the fact that the gun doesn't really stay together that well also kind of detracts from it, in my opinion, because the friction joints on here again aren't that great. So all in all, I think he's cool, but I wouldn't pay an arm and a leg for him. Let's put it that way. So anyway, this has been AV. This has been my review of the Retro Collection Roadblock. If you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.